The CEO panicked. Billions were on the line, and the world was watching as the company's most anticipated launch spiraled into chaos. Screens went dark, the system collapsed, and the brightest minds in the room couldn't fix it. Tension filled the air. Careers, reputations, the future of the company, all crumbling in seconds. And then, when hope seemed lost, a quiet voice spoke up. But no one listened. Why? Because it came from a janitor's kid, a young black boy dismissed before he even had a chance. What happened next shocked everyone. At the heart of a glittering skyscraper stood Novatech Systems, a multi-billion-dollar tech empire preparing for its biggest moment yet, the live launch of their groundbreaking product, Neuralink 1. The event had the eyes of the world on it, investors, media, global partners. Every detail was polished to perfection, every screen rehearsed to run flawlessly. For the executives, this launch meant power, prestige, and billions in revenue. But in the background, unseen and unnoticed, was Malik, the janitor's 14-year-old son. Bright, curious, and endlessly fascinated by technology, he spent most evenings in the shadows of Novatech's labs, quietly absorbing what others overlooked. His father worked tirelessly to keep the building spotless, while Malik tinkered with broken gadgets, coding projects, and scraps left behind. Yet, despite his brilliance, Malik was constantly dismissed. His skin color, his clothes, his background, people made assumptions before he even opened his mouth. To them, he was just the janitor's kid. Still, he dreamed bigger, secretly hoping for a chance to prove himself in the very world that refused to see him. And on launch day, that chance would come, but not in the way anyone expected. The countdown to Novatech's launch filled the auditorium with electricity. Cameras were rolling, investors leaned forward, and the CEO stood ready to present the future. But just as the final seconds ticked away, disaster struck. The massive screens behind him flickered, then went black. A hush fell over the room. Panic spread as engineers scrambled at their stations, their frantic typing echoing like thunder. The world's biggest product reveal had collapsed in real time. Behind the scenes, Malik watched. He saw the chaos, the desperation, the faces of powerful men and women pale with fear. He knew what it meant. Millions of viewers waiting online, billions of dollars hanging by a thread. And while experts barked orders, nothing worked. Every fix failed. The system was frozen. Malik's heart raced. He had studied this system in secret, piecing together code fragments from discarded manuals, memorizing updates others ignored. He knew what the problem was. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward and offered help. But instead of listening, the room erupted with disbelief. A boy? A janitor's son? Their scoffs cut deep, but it was the sting of racism that hurt most. "Stay back, kid. Don't waste our time." Words laced with dismissal, spoken without hesitation. To them, his skin color, his background, his very presence meant he couldn't possibly understand what was happening. Malik shrank back, humiliated. His father tugged at his sleeve, whispering for him not to push. But Malik couldn't ignore what he knew. He had the solution. As the pressure mounted, the CEO's polished confidence shattered. Investors whispered angrily, staff broke into arguments, and every passing second felt like another nail in the company's coffin. Malik tried again, this time louder, firmer. He outlined the flaw, naming the line of code that no one else had noticed. The room fell silent for a split second before laughter broke out. How could a child see what the best engineers in the world could not? But when one desperate technician reluctantly checked, Malik's words rang true. He had spotted the error that teams of experts had overlooked. The realization cracked the room open. This boy they mocked might actually be the only one who could save them. And as eyes slowly turned toward him, Malik's moment had finally arrived. The tension in the control room was suffocating. The CEO's hands trembled as the countdown for the global stream restarted. Engineers whispered, investors barked demands, and the reputation of a multi-billion-dollar company crumbled by the second. And in the middle of it all stood Malik, still treated like an intruder in a place he didn't belong. Even after proving he'd spotted the flaw, the resistance didn't fade. A senior engineer sneered, muttering that it must have been a lucky guess. Another voice, colder, cut deeper. We're really trusting a janitor's kid? Look at him. He doesn't belong here." The words landed like blows. Malik's father lowered his eyes, shame and anger mixing in silence. For Malik, it was the moment he had feared his whole life, that no matter how smart he was, no matter how hard he worked, the color of his skin would erase everything. But the system kept crashing. And when every attempt failed, desperation cracked their arrogance. With seconds left before total humiliation, they gave Malik a chance, not out of respect, but out of fear. His fingers moved quickly across the keyboard, steady despite the weight of 100 doubtful eyes. Line after line of code blurred past, his solution unfolding with precision, born of countless nights spent studying in secret. The room held its breath as the screens flickered, and then blazed back to life. The system roared online, flawless, just in time for the live launch. Cheers erupted, but not everyone joined. Some stared in stunned silence, realizing the truth they had refused to see. The boy they dismissed because of his race had just saved them all. And as Malik stepped back, his face calm but his heart pounding, one question hung heavy in the air. How many more brilliant voices had the world silenced before they ever had a chance to be heard? The launch went forward without a hitch. Investors cheered, the CEO smiled for the cameras, and Novatech basked in the glow of triumph. To the world, it was a flawless success story. But inside that control room, everyone knew the truth. None of it would have been possible without Malik. The boy they had laughed at, dismissed and insulted, had been the only one who saved them. Yet even in victory, the sting of what he endured lingered. For Malik, it wasn't just about fixing a system. It was about proving, in the harshest spotlight imaginable, that brilliance has no color, no status, no label. He walked out of that building not just as the janitor's kid, but as living proof that talent can rise from the most unexpected places, if only it's given a chance. But here lies the deeper tragedy. How many Maliks are out there right now? Young black kids told they aren't good enough. Bright minds ignored because of their skin. Voices silenced before they're ever heard. Malik's story may have ended in triumph, but countless others never get the chance to step forward. The truth is simple. Racism doesn't just wound. It robs the world of potential, of innovation, of futures we may never see. So, the next time you see someone overlooked, underestimated, or disrespected because of who they are, remember Malik. Remember the brilliance that nearly went unnoticed. And ask yourself, how many more lives could we change if we finally started listening?